Ruthie Komen, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm just going to tell you how I acquired my class 5 driver's license after a long struggle and a lots of exams that I did, and I lost a lot of money on the way, and today I'm happy because I kept trying and trying. I never gave up. So let's rewind and go back to 5 years ago when I first came to Canada, and so this was a new culture for me. Everything is new. I was just fresh from home, Kenya, and when I arrived here, I was told that in order to survive, you must have a job. And luckily enough, I had my sister already who was here, and she held my hand and she showed me on the different things to do in order to get a job. But first, the basics. I had to acquire a driver's license. And how would I achieve this? First of all, I had to acquire a class 7, and this was by doing an exam, just a regular exam. So I went to the registry, I registered for the exam. I came home, I studied for it, and then after 1 week or so, I think it was 2 weeks, I went back and did the exam, which I passed with flying colors, yay. And that part was done. So by having a driver's license, you have an ID. So here where I live, you can have only a driver's license which acts as your ID, unlike back in Kenya. So I don't know if they still do that, but we had an ID, and then you have a driver's license, then you have other documents that are so repetitive. And we thought the Huduma number would save everything, but can you allow me to call it a scam? It was a scam, because some of my friends, even here where I live, they had to go all the way to Calgary to go and register for the Huduma number. Some of them even called in sick at work in order to get the Huduma number, which never bore fruits. Can we blame the president? I don't want to say that aloud. So I got my first job. I didn't have a car then, so I used the public means of transport, which is the bus. Oh my God, the buses here, they are good, but they are bad as well, because if you're using the bus to go to school, that is much better, unlike when you're going to work, because some of the places that I used to work, the bus does not fly that route. So I used the bus for a while. I got a job that was just close to where I lived, so sometimes my sister dropped me at work, sometimes our roommate back then dropped me, and most of the time I used the bus, even during the winter time. So I remember this one day I was just waiting for the bus, and Kenyans here are very generous, I must say. Thank you very much. One of them just saw me standing at the bus stop, and it was around negative 20 something. I can't quite remember, but it was negative 20 something. And so let me just close the sprinkler. I was trying to water to water the grass here, but it's making lots of noise. So as I was telling you, it's just water. This particular Kenyan, and I don't know if I just said thanks once, but I will just thank them in a better way soon enough. So it was one of the Kenyans, and It was a lady and a boy. They were a couple back then, yes. And so they helped me. I think the boyfriend was dropping the girlfriend to, sorry, some riders there, they're just distracting me. So the boyfriend was dropping the girlfriend at work, and they happened to pass through the route where I was just waiting for the bus, and they offered to give me a ride to my workplace. And that was not the first time that this guy and the lady helped me out. It was, I think, the second or the third time. Mark you, I just told them I'm okay, because I understand people are busy here. They don't have time to babysit you. So I was waiting for the bus. The bus was like 10 minutes away, but it was freezing cold. -20 is freezing cold. And so I just want to say thank you for helping me out that day. You really saved me. So back to the story. So I continued using the bus for maybe 1.5 years, and after that I was still in school. So it got a time where I really needed a car. So I had to buy one. So I bought one, a very cheap one, yes, from Kenyan as well. Yeah, Kenyans are generous here. Yeah. So I bought a car from one of the Kenyans, and that car really helped me, because I was doing my clinicals, and when we're doing clinicals, it's mostly in the morning shifts, so you have to be there at 6 a.m. and if you don't have a car, or you don't know anyone from your cohort, then you have to find a way out, because in school they don't condone lateness, they don't condone excuses, so you just have to be there on time. So I bought the car and used it for my clinical, so that gained me a year of experience, because remember, back when I was starting this story, I told you I had a class 7, but in order to drive long distance, and it is illegal to drive with a class 7, sorry, if you're caught or you're pulled over by the police and they find out that you have a class 7 driver's license, they will give you a ticket worth $310, which is a lot of money. And so I had to start doing my road test and exams for my class 5 driver's license. So so I went back. I did my road tests for the first time. I failed. Yeah. Second time I went back, and this time I borrowed a friend's car, because I think my car had issues. No, let's go back. I started the exam, the road test exam, when I didn't have a car yet. So first time I I used my sister's car. I did the exams and failed terribly. The second time I borrowed a friend, because my sister was using her car to go to work. And so when I borrowed the friend's car, I forgot to ask him or where the registration and car insurance was. So I went to the exam, and the first thing they ask is the car insurance and the registration. So I failed to produce those documents, so my exam was cancelled. The third time I did it with my first car. My first car was, I think, a Pontiac. Not I think, it was a Pontiac. and I loved that car. So it was my baby. So I used the Pontiac to do my exam, but when I got there, because it had issues, I told you I just bought it at 1,500 Canadian dollars. So when I got to the exam, the tester told me that you can't use this car because it's not roadworthy. roadworthy. Yeah, so I ended up canceling the exam a third time. So the fourth time, I borrowed my sister's car again. So I did the exam and failed. At this time I was so frustrated because I've done the exam 4 times and still I don't see any good results at all. And I was so angry at myself. I was so devastated. I started losing hope because I was like, well, maybe this is not meant for me. But my sister told me you have to try because you need a class 5 to drive around without any fear or panic every time you see a policeman. So I went back again. I think this time I went with my car. I had bought another car at that time. And so remember, at this point, all my friends, my roommates, they've done the class 5 and all of them have passed on first trial, while me, on the other end, I'm still struggling. Yeah, so I was so stressed because some of the easier jobs here, the home care jobs, you need a class 5 to qualify for the job. But if you don't have a class 5, then too bad. So this time around, I had bought a Sonata, or you call it Sonata. So I bought a Sonata and I went back again to do my exam. So there's one lady that normally works at the registry, and she's mostly the tester. And I went there. So on the day of the exam, this is the 5th time I'm doing this. On the day of the exam, I go in there and she's like, we have to check your car first before we do the exam. So we went to check the car and voila, the indicator was not working. The filament was burnt, so it couldn't light up. So she told me, I give you only 30 minutes to find a solution. If not, then I have to cancel your exam again. And Macu, this time it was, I think the fee was going up yearly, because initially it was $83 Canadian dollars. Then at this point it was 95 Canadian dollars. So I went back and so I repaired my car. I fixed the indicator. Then I gave up. I said I will never do this exam again. It's okay if I don't get a class 5. I'm still in school. I'm almost graduating, so I don't need the class 5. So I quit. So I didn't do the class 5 for a whole year. I didn't do the test for a whole year, I mean. So I graduated and I started working. And my job was 30 minutes away. And this is a road that is patrolled by police officers. So one of my friends told me, why don't you try and go and register your exam in a totally different place, like, because I used to register on the south side on the same registry over and over. So she told me, you can change the location, just go and register in the west side. So I went and registered on the west side of the city, and on the first, no, on the last exam. That's the 6th time. It was winter time of 2021. I got my driver's license. Woohoo! And I was so happy. Yeah, it was towards, was it winter time really? No, it was just the end of, no, it was the beginning of winter. I got my class 5. Woohoo, woohoo. And I was so happy. Yeah, thank you for listening and thank you for watching. Have a good night, good afternoon, good day, wherever you are. Bye.